How's it going, guys? Cats here once again with Neel, and we're going to be taking a look at this week's Capo and Dal Segno cards. We're going to be starting with the Dal Segno cards first. So just to get started, we have this 0/0 EO, the usual Kazana Island trait for the Dal Segno cards, and she has Chuni Bio trait. So we're going to be seeing some very Ronco-esque cards coming up soon. So first we have this 0/0. It's a 0025 on play mill 2, and for each Kazana Island character you mill, it gets 1,000 power until end of turn. So I think this is a pretty okay beat stick. The fact that it mills is probably the best part of the card. Outside of that, it's kind of whatever. Yeah.
Yep. I think it's the first time the Capo got a miller, or Dal Segno, as I should say. I think it's gonna be played just because of mills. Milling's like super nice right now. You know, getting to play 3 of these when you have like 4 climaxes at hand, you just mill 6 free cards.
That is definitely a possibility. We'll have to see what other support the set gets. As far as like color fix for blue, off the top of my head, I don't remember exactly how much Dal Segno has right now. I know they have like the 1/0 that discards to salvage event, and they have the event itself, and then they have like a couple other cards.
Couple of the cards that are coming up are blue too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So those are the good ones.
I think this could definitely see play though.
Yeah, I definitely see this seeing play just because of the mill effect and it gains power, which is nice.
Yeah. All right. Now let's go to the Chuni cards. So we have this 1/0 EO, same traits as the last one. So when this is placed on stage, either from your hand or if it's brought out from your waiting room by the effect of the 1/0 EO that's going to be after this, you choose one of your characters and it gets plus 1500 power for the turn. And you can rest 2 characters and then send this to waiting room to play the other 1/0 EO from your waiting room in this card slot. So I feel like the way that this card is going to be played is people are mainly going to use the other one because it's still a decent burst card, and they're basically just going to play this to give something else a 1500 buff and then change this off into the burst 1/0. That's how I feel people are going to play this card.
Is this the worst version of this card that's been released so far? Because Ronco changes on opponent's attack step, or not opponent's attack, opponent's draw step, and then your attack step.
I don't think this is actually like really comparable to the Ronco at all, because this seems like a completely different sort of card profile. Ronco is more about getting both changes and having a high power sustain board, whereas this one, it seems to just play more into just a more bursty playstyle by giving 1500 off and then changing into a card that's going to probably get plus 2500 power.
We haven't seen all the cards yet either, but from what they've shown so far, I think this is probably the best choice we have. But later on, there might be better choices.
If there's an on-reverse combo, then I could definitely see this being used to support the on-reverse combo.
Oh,
to
this one specific one? Yeah.
No, I mean like the way I just said it earlier. So like I'll bring up the other one now. So this is the other 1/0 EO. It's a 4/5 base. When you play it from hand or by the act ability of the other 1/0 EO, then this gets 500 times the number of Kazana Island characters. If you're playing this from your waiting room, then ideally you're going to already have a full board, and then this just comes in as a 7k. The other effect is you can rest 2 characters and send this to waiting room to play the other EO. I don't see this ability being played as much. It's probably just going to be you play the other one, and then you give 1500 and then tap itself and one other character, sack it, and then you bring out a 7k.
My issue with it is that you have to rest 2 characters, so what would you be resting?
It rests itself as one of them.
Yeah, that means you have to rest another character, and then you sack it, right?
Yeah.
So like, what would you want to rest? Because you're gonna have a brainstorm which you don't want to rest unless you're resting it for its effect.
Well, the only brainstorm that you're running in Dal Segno right now is rest self, and it's the clock swap brainstorm, so it's not gonna be a problem. You just rest whatever your second back row is, and then you can still use your brainstorm to do brainstorm things.
Okay, so they're gonna get one rest off, and then you're gonna get this off, and then, with one rest, and then you're gonna play the other two from hand. I'm assuming.
Uh, you don't really have to play like more copies of this. I'm just saying like if you can play the previous 1-0, give 1500, and then sack that off to bring this out, and then you have a beater. Then
Oh yeah, I see.
that's just like something that you can do, and it's just making your whole front row just overall strong on the offense.
Mhm.
Your stuff is, or it's at least this isn't going to be as strong on the defense, obviously, because it's only a 4/5 base. But I mean, people run cards like the Haruka top check, as well as the like Minami My First Star. Like people run these cards, so
Yeah, that's true.
it's definitely something that I could see being used. Specifically, like in the ratios that I put over there on the screen, I think that's probably the ratio that I could see people using these two cards.
I just have a hard time believing that people are gonna run this when I'm going to assume this would be some type of plus combo coming out later. But obviously, from what we've seen right now, then that seems like a pretty good like idea to run it, where you just like burst people down, and then I see it more as like a Minami that doesn't plus,
Yeah.
because it kills stuff, and then it just doesn't do anything after.
Well, so far we do have a plus combo for Dal Segno, which is coming up. It's the 1/1 book combo, the one
Oh,
that gives top check add to hand to itself and another. But first
oh yeah.
we're gonna look at, I think there's another card here first. So we have the 3/2 Ame. So it's an early summon heal if you have 4 or more Kazana Island characters on your stage, which is bullshit. That is that is like, it's literally like, do I have a board? Okay, heal. Which is, it's so stupid. Like this early play condition is always just like really dumb.
It is. It's really good though. We can't
Yeah.
lie. That it's a really good early play condition.
Um, Now the third effect is what makes this pretty interesting, um, because normally on like other early play healers that see a lot of play, they want to be fat, but like this one, it gives your other characters offensive burst instead, which is interesting. Like you look at this card, you look at the previous 1/0s, you look at like the level 0 Ame that we saw in the first week that gives 1k on play, and then it bounces itself for 2k on a climax play. And these are a lot of blue cards that are giving burst, and it's something that you would normally see in like yellow.
Yeah, I was about to just say that. This is weird because most times when I see like an early play blue, lately it's like
Just
get 4k
fat,
something on your opponent's turn, right?
or it just gets fat.
Yeah, it just gets like really fat for no reason. So when I saw this on a blue card, I was like, I'm assuming the other early play is gonna be trash because they're kind of giving a yellow buff card to blue, which means that they're trying to make blue the most powerful color.
It doesn't. It
Usually
doesn't.
that's
It doesn't really matter, really. Like in my opinion, it doesn't really matter whether or not this was in blue or yellow. I was just like noting that earlier. But talking about the actual effect itself. So the third effect is, when it attacks, you give one of your other Kizana Island characters 500 times the number of other Kizana Island characters on your stage. So that means that this card isn't going to be fat. It's going to be 9k base, and it has no way to buff itself. Um,
unless you have
just
two of
like
them.
just like by itself. Um, Especially on the defense, like 9k can be beat over fairly easily. And I don't think we've seen any like level supports yet for Dal Segno.
Mm-hmm.
So on its own, this card is still fine because it's an early play healer with a really stupid, almost non-existent condition. I feel like the third effect, if they had like given this the 500 per, like they did with the Sara, then this would have been an absolutely insane card.
Mm-hmm. Um, I don't know. This effect is really interesting. To give it to blue because they the reason I'm saying it's interesting to give to blue is because blue is obviously the most heavy dominant color in Capo and Dal Segno. You have playing in the creek, you have movie counter. So the fact that they gave this effect to blue kind of just shows how powerful blue could be in Capo or Dal Segno.
I guess. All right, we'll move on now to the 1/1. This is the 1/1 book combo, 1/1 Ame. Recollection, if you have any cards in memory, this gets plus 1500 power. This makes it a 6/5 on a condition. I feel like it. I feel like it could have been like 7k, to be totally honest, just to make it like not completely useless if you don't have the climax. So like if they at least made it like vanilla stats on a condition, I think that's very, very reasonable. That being said, the condition is very easy to meet because of the next card coming up. But we'll get to that in a sec. So this card has a climax combo with a book. When you play the climax, if this is in the front row, you choose this card and another one of your characters, and this turn they both gain on attack top check, and if it's a Kizana Island character, you add it to your hand. So the thing about this effect is that, like Neel was saying earlier, two of the best cards that you're probably going to want to run are Playing in the Creek and Money Counter. So the more copies of those events that you run, the higher chance you have to miss. But you also have to consider that with Playing in the Creek, you can guarantee at least one top check with this effect. And if you play multiple copies of this 1/1 Ame, and then you play Playing in the Creek, if you stack both effects on one character, you can attack and you can guarantee that both of the cards on top of your deck are going to be added to your hand because you put them on top of your deck with Playing in the Creek.
If you have 3 copies of this card, you get top check 6. That's insane.
Oh, you mean like top check?
2 for each one because it gives it to this and another.
Yeah,
that's actually kind of insane.
Yeah, you're also paying 3 stock for that though, which
yes, you are.
Is pretty expensive, especially when you're gonna want to set up like a memory searcher early game as well. So you have to be careful about how much stock you're paying in the early game. As I think this card is decent, but I probably don't run more than 3 of this card.
I see people playing this like as a thing where you play 1 copy, 1 turn, use its effect, and then play another copy, another turn, and then if you have the climax again, just use its effect. Because I think that's how this card was intended designed. That's why it has a 1 cost on it. I don't think they intended designing you to play 3 copies on 1 turn and then play the book to top check 6.
I think 2 is reasonable, especially if you play Playing in the Creek.
Yeah, definitely. But so far, the level 0 game seems very stock heavy, especially with the next card coming up.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to check that out first.
Okay, so now we have the 0/0 Ame. I think this card's really, really good. So it's a memory searcher. So when this is reversed, you can pay 1, drop 1, and send it to memory. Search your deck for up to 1 Kazana Island character, and add it to your hand. The first effect is what I think makes this card really cool. If you have 1 or less other characters, this gets +1 level and +1k. Now the 1k power is a bit less important. I mean, like, that means that this card can potentially like actually kill something, which is sometimes just like a nice little bonus. But the +1 level is the really important part, because that means that this card doesn't get stopped by special suiciders that send this card to other zones so that it can't resolve its on reverse ability.
I think this card's really good too. You kind of like just took the words out of my mouth. You know, getting +1 level, not being able to kill, not be able to die to any suiciders is pretty sweet. And if they ever give it like a level 0 support where it's like global 500, it could definitely kill stuff.
What I think is really funny is something that I see pretty often, and I don't know why. I think it's actually an incorrect play. Is that like, so if somebody plays a memory searcher, their opponent will just like side it because they don't want them to get the memory search off. Sometimes that's correct. Like if you're playing against Osomatsu-san, it's very, very reasonable to not let them reverse their girlfriend so that they can enable Jushimatsu. I think that is probably one of the only reasonable times where you should be siding the girl. But in other decks where they're not nearly as reliant on having that card in memory, I feel like it might just be the right choice to just front, because if you're siding that card, then you're giving them extra stock to attack with on like falling turns because they're keeping their character around. But with this card, if they side this, they're siding for 0 if you have the level +1, so that can be pretty stupid.
Yeah, I think they made this card a little bit too good with that level +1.
I don't think it's broken. I think it's just very, very solid.
I think it's above average.
It's absolutely above average. For other cards with this same memory search effect, it is absolutely above average, and I think this card's really cool. It's also a common.
If you want to know something, people, like in my games when I'm playing the Capo, people always side attack that stupid 0/0 from newspaper. It's pay 1 when it's front attack, pay 1, send the memory, play the 1/1 from hand. People always side attack it because people are always scared that there's like that 1/1 that's gonna come out at level 0. It's funny. It's hilarious.
It's kind of whatever.
No, I just find it hilarious because you're always like, yeah, people side attack the Osamatsu-san girlfriend.
Yeah, but like that and the other card don't get +1 level.
Yeah, that's true.
This gets +1 level, which is what makes it funny. All right, so anyways, we're gonna move on to the Capo cards now. We're finished with all the Dal Segno for the week. So
fast.
Next we have we had a Sunday. Sunday was a holiday in Japan. Well, it was their Monday, but like anyways, the Capo 3/2 Sara. So newspaper and sports trait. This is very comparable to 3/2 Kirito from the Sao second extra booster, the Mother's Rosario one, except this one's better. So if you have 2 or less climaxes in waiting room, this gets -1 level. On play, draw 2, ditch 1, and this gets 500 power for each other newspaper or sports character on your stage. And it's not only during your opponent's turn, which is why I think this is much better than Kirito, because this can be 11k on your turn, where Kirito is always just going to be 9/5.
Yeah, I don't know why people are giving this card so much flack. A lot of people are giving this card a lot of flack for being like, oh, it doesn't heal, so it's totally trash. Like, no, it's perfectly fine. Draw 2 ditch 1's perfectly fine effect at level 2. It's a better version of Kirito, which is how a majority of us, the Capo players, saw it. And it lets you draw into the 2/2 heal event, which you can then play at level 2 and heal twice.
Well, it just lets you draw into... lets you draw into, like, any event, really.
Yeah, it lets you draw into the horror movie, playing in the Krieg. It's like, okay. I could draw into all my broken events while... then I get the 2/2 heal event. Cool, I'll play that and I'll heal too.
Yeah. No, just what it comes down to is that this is a big cantrip level 3 that comes in early, and it's a solid card. There's really not much that we can like go into detail on with this card because its effects are all very like normal, but the whole package is very solid.
It's lovely.
Yeah. All right, so next we have this 1/1 Aoi. This card suffers the same problem as the 1/1 Ame from earlier in that if you don't have the climax, this card's pretty useless. So this card has the Maki climax combo, which is a variant of the Minami combo from CG. When this card's battle opponent is reversed, if you have the book in play, you look it up to 4 from the top of your deck, pick a newspaper or waitress character from those cards, add it to your hand, drop the rest, and then you can give one of your characters 1k until the end of the opponent's turn. Now the difference between this and the Maki, apart from, one of them is a costless character, the other one is not. Because this card has a higher base power, it has a higher chance of surviving on the board, assuming you get the climax combo off the first time, because you can give 1k to itself, and instead of being a 5/5, it's a 7/5. That being said, I don't like the 1/1 climax combo, and the fact that it's a 1/1.
Yeah, it bothered me that it was a 1/1, but I still see people playing this because when me and you talked about that 1/0 Rika, the issue with that card is that card can't run over stuff, and that card can't salvage anything higher than what's in your memory. So if you have 1 in memory, you could only salvage level 1s and lower, right?
Well, these are also 2 different decks, though, aren't they?
No, Rika... newspaper.
Oh, Rika was magic newspaper?
And newspaper, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you could play both. You could play whichever one you want.
I personally still like the Rika better.
Yeah, I do too. I definitely agree with you there. I definitely like the Rika better because it salvages, and you could grab whatever you want. But the issue with the Rika is that if you're the newspaper deck doesn't really run around memory, and majority newspaper decks don't run memory right now, then you're not going to get anything higher than like a level 1.
All right,
So this
we'll just have to see, I think. But I think probably what it comes down to, you know what I would like to see for newspaper deck? I would actually like to see some card that has like the on climax play top check, and then you can give a soul.
yes, yes,
I think
I
that
would
would
love
be
to see
very
that.
helpful. That would be very helpful for the Rika since her power is pretty low, so you can just like side attack for more damage
If they made a card like that, this card would be absolutely shit and useless.
compared to the Rika.
Yeah, compared to the
Yeah,
Rika, because you just
I would definitely lean even more towards the Rika if they release a card like that because that supports the strategy of like getting the costless card advantage while still being able to put out some good soul damage output.
and just to let people know that they've already shown after all the DC3 cards today, they've shown 14 of the 33 DC cards that they're showing for the whole entire thing. So we've seen about roughly half of what's been offered, and we haven't seen the other two double Rs for DC3. The Sara, I'm assuming the Sara and the Humana are going to get double Rs because they're sign cards. So
Probably. All right.
right.
Okay, so next we have some stuff for Magic deck. We have Umi Brainstorm or Nico Brainstorm. It's Global 5 to all Magic characters. And Brainstorm, pay 1, rest 2, mill 4. For each climax, search your deck for Magic characters. Literally the same profile as the Umi and the Nico from Love Live.
um. So I hope you're trolling on that second comment for a crappy trait in DC because Magic's probably the best trait in DC.
I don't know, man. The only thing I know about DC is what like Alvin and George tell me in chat. I don't know if they're trolling, but they just told me Magic's crap.
Yeah, Magic is the best trait in DC because it has the most card pool to work with.
Okay, all
And
right,
they go, yeah,
all
they
right.
were definitely trolling you.
Alvin, George, if
Uh,
you're watching this, fuck you. Okay.
yeah, because Magic has that 3/2 Humano that we talked about last week, and that I told you about. The one that early plays with the 2/2 event, and then free heals from clock to wave stage, and then it has an early play that's like 13k on your opponent's turn in yellow. It like gets big on your opponent's turn in yellow, which is really weird. But it also has the new restander, so Magic is definitely like the most powerful trait. It has been in the past and it still is.
All right. And this is only making it better.
Yes, it is. Now
Uh,
that have
okay,
a Capo brain.
real talk though. So, as far as rest 2, is that going to be a problem for the deck at all or no? I don't know. I don't know how much. I don't know how much Magic deck needs its back row to be rested or something for other effects.
Now the only time back row would ever be rested in Magic is if you had two Brainstormers, where it's tap the tap pay 1 mill 4 search Magic. It's a 0/0. Um, I still see people playing like one or two copies of that with this card because it's tap 1,
That's the
and
salvage, right?
that's the search for Magic.
Oh, it's a search. Okay.
For Magic. Yeah.
Oh, so they already have a brainstorm search for Magic.
Yeah, but it's a 0/0. It's tap self, and it's in yellow.
Okay, that's pretty
So
good.
it is. But I see this card definitely being played because of the next card that's coming up. Magic will now have like an actual beater, and the issue that Magic had is that it had to play Time Machine combo. So if you played Time Machine combo and you just died at level 1 and level 2, Humano wouldn't save you ever. Humano would just like you just lose the game even though you got Humano off at level 2/6 or whatever because you took too much damage.
Okay.
But to answer your question really quickly, Rest 2 isn't too much of a big deal because you just play over it with Humano, and yeah.
Okay. Oops, I skipped a card.
Uh-oh.
All right, there we go. All right, so now we have the 1/0 Himeno, aka Ellie, from Love Live. So we love Live now, boys. Um, for every other magic character on your stage, this gets 500 power. So max 6/5. With the globals, it's gonna get bigger. It does not have 0/0 changer.
Confirm best beater in the Capo now.
Actual best beater.
Actual best beater with that 1-0 global 500.
Hmm.
The Capo doesn't have a 2k counter.
Hey, maybe they'll get one.
Who knows?
So like,
So your thoughts?
what is Magic's advantage engine at level 1?
Absolutely brainstorming. Nothing else.
Okay,
That and time machine.
so basically your goal, I guess, is you play these and you play the 1/0 Rika that can't front into higher level, because I believe that was also magic trait. And those are your six.
Oh no, Rika?
Yeah, that was a Rika, wasn't it?
The 1-0 Rika. Oh yeah, the 6/5, right? Yeah.
The one from last week, the yellow one.
Yeah, 6/5.
That's a
The
magic
6/5,
trait,
yeah.
right? So you play
Yeah,
you
that's
play
magic
those
trait.
and you play these. You play the brainstorm and then you pray for a 2k counter. Does that sound about right?
That sounds about right. There's a couple of cool cards at like level 0. There's a level 0 that's on attack, pay 1, mill 2, salvage.
You have to mill 2 magic characters though, right?
Yeah, and then you can salvage any card.
Okay.
So that's it's pretty nice. Like,
I think that card profile is pretty neat because it lets you pay out climaxes on the fly, and potentially get card advantage out of it.
Yeah, and you know what? You could combo with that 0/0 Charles, the one that we talked about last week. That's like the move to back, because that 0/0 Charles moves Student Council and Magic to back.
Okay.
So you could like attack with that 0/0, pay 1, mill 2, and then move it right back into your back row, and then use it again next turn if you need it.
Oh, that sounds nice.
It is nice.
I like the sound of that. All right. So, anyways, so this is a beater for Magic. So far, Magic is just beaters at level 1, I guess.
Yep.
All right.
It doesn't do anything until level 3 and level 2.
All right. So now we get on to the 3/2 Shiki. This is the last card of the week. So, it has 2 abilities. If you have another level 3 or higher character on your stage, this gets plus 2k during both players' turns. During your opponent's turn, if you take damage and you do not cancel, if this is in the front row, top check 1, and you can either leave it on top or send it to the waiting room. So, apparently this card was like designed to just go with the 3/2 Himeno, because you can early summon that Himeno with an event, and then you use Climax combo, and then you bring this out of clock. And then you have your other level 3, which is the Himeno, so this is going to get its 2k buff, and you have a top check Scry that came into play at level 2, which is really cool. And you basically healed 1. The downside to this is that you're playing 2k1 Soul Climaxes, so...
I don't think the 2k1 hurts it that much, the Himno combo, because you would have gates, like, or pants. They haven't released the pant in the set yet, though, which makes me sad to see that I might have to buy the goddamn promo pants.
Yeah, buy Platinum Days.
Yeah, Platinum Days.
Actually, could you play... Wait, what was the climax for the Restander from last week?
A book.
Wait. So there... How many books are there? What the fuck?
It's a book. I think it's a book or a stock soul.
I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check right now.
Yes, I'm gonna check with you just to confirm. Pretty sure it was a book and wasn't a pant. If it was a pant, then you just play that pant.
Oh, that was a stock soul.
It's a stock soul. Okay.
All right.
That's what I thought. It's a book or stock soul. All right.
All right. Feels bad.
Yeah. Feels bad, man. Platinum Days is gonna go with like $80 after this.
Good thing I don't play the Capo.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sure.
Keep you in.
I'm sure there's gonna be a pants in here somewhere. There's gotta be.
Yes, I hope so. I think I told you about this, but this card's kind of insane when you play that 1/1 event from last week. When you take 3 damage, top trick 4, free range, top of your deck. Well, think about it. Like,
Okay, yeah, I guess so. But like, you gotta take 3 for that on the first hit.
Yeah. I see that. I can see that definitely happening though. With our luck, I definitely see that happening.
Do you have room for blue in Magic deck, or is there like a lot of good blue in Magic?
The only blue you usually play is horror movie. You would play the 0/0 runners that pay 1 cent of memory. You would play. You wouldn't play. I didn't play playing in the creek, but I definitely see people playing it. Um, and then you'd play heal event. Heal event or 1/1 Anzu, because 1/1 Anzu, you know what the alarm 1/1 Anzu does, right?
Yeah, the swimsuit one.
Yeah. So what people would do is they'd play 3/2 Himeno. They'd play whatever was around the 1/1 Anzu. They'd stack the 1/1 Anzus, and then they just heal off the 1/1 Anzus.
Makes sense.
And I still see people playing that. Like, I think what's gonna change is I think people are not gonna play this like yellow change combo that comes out early and heals. Uh, and gets big
Is
on
that
your
the one that
once.
has like memory kick or something, or stock kick?
It's pay one on play, and then it's like, oh, when you can use this effect, you can send another card like memory, and then when it comes back like a late time machine the next turn, and it gives 6/5.
Oh, all right. I was very incorrect then on that effect.
Yeah, it's really weird. The stock kick card you're talking about is the 3/2 Otome, which
Oh,
is
okay.
when there's two more in memory, you can send something to stock if you reverse it.
That's right. All right.
Which is absolutely shit. Please do not send people's cards to stock. You will lose the game, especially in this meta where there's like stock heavy.
I don't think it's like too bad depending on what your matchup is, but anyways,
Uh,
so we're pretty much done with this week's cards. Hope you guys enjoyed this card review. Be sure to leave some comments down in the comments section below. And yeah, I'm going to try to upload the other two deck profiles for the San Diego WGP either today or tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, this has been Peshcats with Neel. And we'll see you next time. Later.
Later.